What's up everyone? I just want to make a quick video in regards to what to do after you get your first adjustment. And this is something you can do probably just throughout your entire care here. But one of the things I want to make sure that you do these three things. It's going to be ice, walking, and then water. Okay, now let's kind of break those three things down real quick. So ice. So once we start to move those joints within the spine, what can happen is those joints haven't been moved for such a long time. So you can feel some soreness, you can feel some achiness. I always liken it to as if you haven't gone to the gym for a couple weeks, a couple months, even for some people a couple years. When you start to work out and start to strengthen those muscles again, you're actually changing your body structure. You're tearing up some of those muscles because they're breaking down and you're trying to get them stronger. And so when you do that, maybe 2-3 days later, you're like, oh man, I feel so sore because I did those curls, or my legs are really sore, so you're walking funny or whatever it is because you just did those squats or the lunges. What happens is when you start to change the body, your body needs to recover and to repair. And so sometimes that soreness can come about. So same thing when we start to correct the joints within the spine, the body hasn't been that way for such a long time that your muscles can get really sore around the area because it's not been that way. So it's trying to readapt to the change that we're trying to implement. So if you feel some soreness, that's going to be something that can be expected. So ice 20 minutes about every hour to even every couple of hours, basically depending on how you feel you need to. So if we do an adjustment in your neck, I recommend doing the ice where we actually do the adjustment. If we do it in your lower back and in the pelvis, making sure that you're going to be ice in that area. So if you're not quite sure where to ice, you can always ask with the doctor that actually adjusted you and just find out where do you need to ice. But typically a good rule of thumb is wherever the adjustment was, go ahead and ice that area. Again, you can use a bag of peas, you can do one of those ice packs that is able to be able to shape and mold. If it's very solid, I don't recommend that. I recommend ice bags that you can actually shape in it to wherever the body part is. Okay, so ice is your best friend. It's a vasoconstrictor, and so when you actually ice, it's going to basically restrict those muscles and constrict it, and it's going to pump out a lot of the inflammation and the swelling. Heat does the opposite. It's a vasodilator, so it's going to bring in more swelling, more fluid, and it's going to put more pressure onto those joints and onto those nerves. So a lot of people ask, do I ice, do I heat? I recommend ice because it's a vasoconstrictor. It's going to help to reduce a lot of the inflammation. Now the second thing I want you to make sure that you're doing is going to be walking. Now, walking is the best form of exercise that you can do anytime, as much as you're able to. If you're having a lot of lower back pain or some issues going on and it's preventing you from walking, I just recommend that you're walking as much as you can, but really movement is key. Now, the thing is, when we do the walking, when we start to restore proper movement and function within that joint, walking is going to help your body, especially your pelvis, but really it's going to help the entire spine to start getting movement. Again, we're trying to get inflammation and swelling out of those joints, so walking is going to be a great way to do that. The other reason why walking is important is because when I do an adjustment in that lower back, it's not just going to affect your lower back, but once we get proper motion into there, now it's going to start to undo and unwind a lot of that stress that's been accumulating throughout the year. So your body compensates over the years when it has stress, and we want to undo some of the compensation. So walking is going to be one of the biggest tools that you can utilize to be able to restore proper function, help to get inflammation and swelling out of those joints, but it also helps to undo a lot of that stress that we've accumulated over the years as well. So walk as often as you can and as comfortably as you can. So if you're having a lot of leg pain, back pain, you just push yourself as much as you're able to, but you only do as much as you're able to comfortably, okay? Now, the last thing is going to be water. Now, your body is made up of pretty much mostly water, and so if you're not drinking enough water, your body's going to be dehydrated. And also water, once you start to drink it, you're going to rehydrate your body, but it's going to help to flush out a lot of the toxins within the body. So there's so many things that accumulate over the years, and so we're trying to just basically flush out as much as we can. The other reason why we want to drink water is because it's going to help to lubricate the joints. Now, one of the things that we start to develop is arthritis, degeneration. Those discs start to get dehydrated, and there's not enough nutrients within those disc spaces. So if we can drink as much water as we can possibly have, typically the recommendation is drinking half your body weight in ounces, which for some people that's a lot of water, some people it's not as much, but it's really going to be a rule of thumb is drink half your body weight in ounces. And if you can't do that, honestly just drink as much as you're able to, okay? But again, it's going to help to rehydrate the body, but it's going to help to actually lubricate those joints and let your body move the way it's supposed to, okay? So I hope that helps you guys. Just think about that when you're in your sessions and you're adjusting. After you're doing the adjustments, making sure we're again icing, we're getting some walking, and then also we're getting some water in our body as well. All right, hope that helped you guys. Thanks so much.